Okay, let's see here. I want to do a quick little walkthrough with this program called MixMeister. It's a bit of like orphanware. Apparently, well, first of all, it was like bought by Newmark, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and then it was absorbed into like in media or whatever, and it's just been like orphaned, which is sad because like I guess the last version, the one that's available still for sale, is kind of buggy, but it's actually really useful for what it does. You need to do a couple things to really make it sing. And so like real quick about me, like I'm DJing forever, but like family and things have sort of led me to kind of like streamline my situation. So I don't have time to like record a mix, or I definitely don't have time to gig anymore. Like it's well, and with COVID you just can't. So anyway, this will do. I think a lot of people actually use this for radio mixes and stuff, like to this day. It's literally the only program that'll let you do timeline DJing other than Ableton, which Ableton is like super expensive, and it's really powerful, but I think there's a pretty steep learning curve. This one, I don't know, like you can, if you know how to DJ, you can jump right into this. So I'm just going to kind of give a little demo. I'm using this guy's music. I'm an open format DJ, though you can just do some really nice house mixes with this as well. But you can mix anything, especially if you're willing to just drop it on the one. This guy's music that I'm using is copyright free. His name's Otis McDonald, and he is from San Francisco, and his music is all over the place. But for the heck of it, he recorded like 2 albums and just put them on YouTube as part of the YouTube library, like what you would hear like YouTubers using for like travel blogs and stuff. So anyway, I just figured that would be good enough. And so what I had done here is I made a playlist so these songs flow in a way that I would like to listen to them. It's kind of funny because you can tell the BPMs are all over the place, but I'm like Joe DJ, drop it on the one. So, and a lot of times I just don't care. And for the purposes of this demo, I'm really just trying to show you tips and tricks. I'm not trying to show you how to actually mix. I mean, like that's going to be up to you. You know, when we get to the end, I'll direct you to my where I post my mixes, and I basically like every mix I've made since March, I've used MixMeister, and yeah, just all kinds of different stuff, styles, I guess. Okay, I have a playlist, and what I would do here is I would, and this is going to be like, what I do is I will copy this music however I'm going to do it. Before you copy it, what you want to do is you want to convert it to wave. Figure out the order you want your like playlist to be, because you don't want to trust the program. Like I guess you can kind of drag all right, you have a couple options, and this gets into like the stuff I want to make sure I show people. You can drag all your music in here and then like go one at a time, but it's like you'll find that it's wonky. It doesn't really sort the way you would expect it, and it's just buggy. And so the smartest thing to do is just use this program as your mixer, not as like your library management. So what you want to do here is like get the songs in the order that you would most likely like you want to play them, right? Work that out ahead of time. What I do is then, and it's easy for me with this program, so I'll go tools, scripts. I'm using Media Monkey, and this increment track numbers. Okay, so now they have a track number. Now from here, I like to convert everything to wave and then just work, like I'll make a backup of them and work from there. So like, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna highlight them, tools, convert, new destination, wave. You can either replace them where they are or go to the new destination. So I'm just gonna go new destination, wave. No, I don't. Yeah, I want wave. My bad. Okay, right now they're not. They're in M4A. Like very few people would ever claim that there's a difference. That there's actually, you know what? There is no difference between when you convert from lossless format to lossless format. You don't lose anything. Only weirdos claim that you do, and they usually get shouted down in the forums. So I just like to work from wave. There they go. They're all wave, and they're all sitting on my desktop. So now what I'm going to do is that's okay, because this is more of like a project file. This is not like part of my actual like DJ. These aren't going to go back into my like DJ mix or hard drive anymore. This is just for this project right here. So I will go here. I'm in this I named this one MixMeister demo, and I'll show you kind of an example of my little process. But like, so I'm going to say, instead of new folder, I'll rename it MMDEMO, and drag these songs up in here. They're in here. I'm going to sort by name. Okay, that's good. Now, where are we at? I have MixMeister open. Now, here's the thing I'm going to show you real quick. If you open MixMeister, it's going to reopen like the last file or project you were working on. Oh, well, in this case, so I had it already zeroed out. So it's just one of those quirks. Like, you would just say file, new project, and it would start a new project. All right, so I'm going to say file, where am I at? File, save plan. Oh, it's not going to let me save yet because I don't have anything in here. Okay, so I'm going to go to me. So here we go. By doing this work right here, this deals with one of the quirks of this program. Like, for the longest time, I would make a playlist and drag it up in here, and it wouldn't be sorted in any way that makes sense. It drove me crazy because most of the time I'm working with like 25 songs, I got the order worked out. I got them, named. Sorry, the track numbers in there. One way I used to do it before I figured out that I can do this little thing in MediaMonkey is I would just like get them in the order I wanted, and then just like drop a 01 in front of the first song, 02, 03, 04, just because like it's whatever it took to kind of like make sure that when I get to here, I can sort it and keep it in the right order. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this now that I've got them in the order I want them. And what you're going to do is you're going to drag them over here. All right. I know that sounds like a lot, but I just saved you some time. Just don't worry about this area. This area here sucks. Now we're up in here. Okay, here we go. So they're in the order that I actually planned for them to be. Treat Me This Way is first, Girl in Oakland's last, just like I like. And they're actually, if you notice, they're already up in here. All right. Now we're in business. Now, here we go. So first thing I'm going to show you is by default, this snap is on. You don't want it on. Turn it off. Next thing, it's 4 strips. It can go to 8 strips, go to 2 strips. Now, weirdly, every time you close the program and reopen it, it's going to always default to 4. It's super weird. Like I said, it's just like quirky. Now, as I'm zooming in and out with the wheel, whatever, that's common sense. But so now that's loud. Here's the irony, and this is I don't know if irony is the right word, but here's something that like no one really says. It's actually clipping on default. Believe it or not, this default volume is clipping. And like when you actually have 2 songs layered, and it's like, and clipping in this program, super quirky, is not 0. Clipping happens way down here. And I can prove it really easily. Here, I'll do like a quick little mix. And first of all, let me come back to this. I'm going to go File, Save Playlist As, and I'm going to go to Desktop, in my case, and I'm looking for the demo area. Here we go. Okay, and I'm just going to go MMDEMO. And then from now on, the songs I use, they're here. Now, you see how like they're doubled up? This is just like text that that MixMeister generates when it's analyzing. So like, yeah, let me hit pause here. So like, this is actually now like my project file, and I'll show you mixes that I work on here. So this is like, here's a mix. Here, these are all mixes, but like, all right, I just kind of, my DJ tracks that I actually would play out with and whatnot, so where I'm pulling these songs from, they're here. By making a copy of each song as a wave and then dropping it into an individual like project folder, it just keeps things tidy. So like if I rename one of these songs, but let's say I was using songs just straight from my DJ hard drive, and I renamed it or something, well then all of a sudden it would be like unavailable in the project. So that's why you just want to make a duplicate. Let me cut this off now. Let me come back to where I was. So I've made my save. It's in here. Everything's in here where it's supposed to be. Let me show you real quick how bad this clipping is by default. I'm going to say File, Export Playlist to File. I'm going to go Desktop, and I'm going to go Clipping. Let's just go MMCLIPPING. And man, I'm saving you all a lot of pain. And I just export as wave for now. And this is actually going to export the whole thing like as if we had did a mix, even though nothing's obviously mixed in yet. We'll get to that later. Okay, so it's exported. And I'm going to find it on my desktop. It's right here. Let me show you how bad this clipping is. It's crazy. So I have Audacity open. And let me drag it in here. So the great thing about Audacity is it has this option to view when you go to the view settings, show clipping. All right, here's that clipping. That's the first and second song, and it might not seem like a lot, but it is. Anytime you have a mix, anytime you have a file, or it usually happens at a mix in point, you know what I'm saying, where there's clipping, it sounds terrible. And so this is, we're going to avoid this. I'm helping you avoid this because the default is too flippin' loud. So what you want to do is you come here, master volume, and I actually take it all the way down to -10. What I found is I started out, once I realized this was an issue, I would back it down to -4. But like when you have a nice long blend where you got songs that are overlapping for a while and there's kind of, you're starting to bring the bass in and stuff, it'll clip. And it clips it like right here, not up here. It's like clipping already here. So then I would go to 5 and finally I was just like, F it. I do it at 10, -10. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's fine. There, I just saved you a lot of hassle right there. So bump it all the way down to -10. Now, and I guess I'll save. When you want to save where you're at, it's save playlist or just Control S, like pretty much most every other program. So now let's get into like, how do we mix? Let's see here. Okay, now here's the thing. Couple things. The reason why you want to turn snap off is because these are your mix in and outs. These things are where you're going to mix in and out. And if you leave it turned on, you're locked in, and it has a pretty bad beat grid detection. Like this program's beat detection is horrible. So the only way to like do it more by ear is to turn snap off. I'm not really gonna come up with like a perfect mix here, because I'm more just trying to show you guys hints and tricks. But like now that snap is off, roughly what I would do. So these points here are like at the end of bars, but it's based on its determination of when everything started. So it could be off, but like basically I'm just gonna listen like, man, that's not really what I want to mix out. Let's see. All right, so I don't know. I might just drop it right there. Yeah, and that's not so bad. So I'm gonna zoom in really good, and I'm gonna tweak that to there. and I'm going to tweak that to there. And again, with Snap-on, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be really boxed in to like, you see, it's not letting me, it wouldn't let me. Anyway, so I'm going to turn snap off, and I'm going to just go Control Z to undo. There we go. So now I'm back to where I am. So when I'm zooming in with the wheel, that actually seems like it might be all right. Now I'm just going to scan it real quick. Come over here. All right. No, I might. No, I'll leave that alone. Maybe at the next one. Now, let me show you something that's huge. All right. This is one more big issue. If you stuck around this far, you're about to learn another one. So when I click on Other Way, all right. So when I click on Other Way here, it's the end of Other Way. And as it mixes into Church of the Eight Wheels, right? It says no transition. The first one says simple custom because I did it. You watched me do it. This one says no transition. Your default transitions are like Beat Mix 8, whatever. They all suck. I'll show you. The only one that's kind of fun is this thing called ping pong. You can kind of use it artistically. I'm not gonna. It's one of those fluky ones that when I'm desperate, I'll try it, and sometimes it works. But let me just show you an example of the Beat Mix 8. All right, what's it doing? Well, it just created volumes, and it's basically guessing. It's doing an educated guess based on its own beat grid of like a mix out. So let's just see what it came up with. All right, that's whack. That's horrible. But so I'm gonna take this from Beat Mix 8 back to no transition, and I'm gonna do it myself. Oh, my bad. Let me hit undo, edit, undo. If you notice, I forgot to show you this. This is what I love about this program, though. Like so this song is 105. And this song is 108, it'll actually create like a BPM transition as well. Now it'll do it automatically right now, but I'll show you how to do it manually. So no transition for now. All right. So this is 108, and this track, if you're see, I can't really quite see where I'm at here with this one, but I'm going to right click and I'm going to put down an original tempo marker. Okay, so this track is 104.97 and this track is 108. All right, cool. So this is basically 105, 108. These actually could blend. So let me see if I can find a blend part to blend it real quick. So I'm going to say, all right, that's how that starts. Let me see. This sort of just loops. It doesn't have like a break. Boom. Okay, well maybe let's, for the hell of it, I'm gonna put it right here. So now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna drag this all the way up to here. I'm gonna find the downbeat, and I'm just gonna hope to get lucky. Let's see where I'm at here. No, that sounds like butt. But if I wanted to, like, just, all right, for the heck of it, let me solo it, see if I can really find the downbeat. Okay, so the downbeat, would it be here? Or is it here? Probably here. All right. For the hell of it, I'm going to mix this in, even though I wouldn't mix this in real life. And then I'm dragging this right to the beginning of this downbeat on this this song I'm going into. Now look here. What I find is that it's best to keep, I'm going to find the original tempo of the song I'm mixing out of. It's best to keep the tempo basically at the song you're mixing out of. And then you'll get back to your normal tempo later in the song. Let's see what. So this 104, and this is where it's like I'm zooming in, zooming out. And you got to watch out. Like as you zoom out, you'll get lost a little bit. Like this 108, I don't want it to be there, so I'm going to edit it to the 104.97. Hit enter. Now it's not going to be a great transition, but at least it's going to, I mean, this is a demo, but here, check it out. All right, so, you know, it is what it is. So like, let me see here. This song right here is the out. I'm going to right click, I'm gonna hit volume. I'm going to right click, hit volume again. And I'm going to do it manually. And I'm just going to take it to like, it's hard to really, what I'll do is I'll drag it down to here, then I'll right click and I'll be like, let's just put this on like -2, -3. All right. Now, if we had left this at 0, where the default is, it would be clipping like crazy, but it's not now. But it's still clipping a little bit. So I got the volume down to what, -3. I'm going to right click again in this area and I'm going to add a bass marker. I'm going to come out here and add a bass marker. And I'm going to, now you could gradually do things and there's times where it sounds better to do that. But for this, you just want to chop. And I'm going to take this bass and I'm going to just drop it to like -3 as well. And then just give it a listen. Let's say, okay, I want to be cute, right? So where's that clap? Is this it? Yeah, I like that little Prince sound, right? Let's see here. So I'm gonna go right click, volume, and just I could zoom in but I'm trying to go fast. So like right here, volume. Just kind of like drop it way low, like and this might not, you know, this might not be good, but whatever, let's just try it. You know, or something, you know, you can have fun with it. So this is a mix. We just did a mix, and I save you a lot of hassle, because if you don't do it manually, it's just gonna mix it at a random point. It's gonna sound like ass. And oh, that's right. Okay, so we're hanging at 105. We need to get back up to 108. And right now it's even shown. Like if I left it this way, Church of the Eight Wheels is what we just mixed in on. It's now at 105. But look, this tells you like this is what percentage, how far are you off of I don't know. I can't understand how they come up with the formula, but it's basically like you're 3% away from where you should be. This is useful to scan every once in a while, because sometimes you'll like be trying to mix something and it's really tricky and you'll be all over the place. You know, like you'll be just like experimenting and you'll forget that you left it turned down. And you never want to just be slowed down or sped up for no reason. You want to keep that to a minimum, because you know it's just you want your files to sound good. You don't want them to be like sounding bad for no reason. So let's see here. I'm at 104, or I'm at 105 essentially. I want to get back up to where I'm supposed to be. So let's just say in a pinch, my bad, and I want to get out of this song too. So let's see, I got my clap. Let's do this. Where's this? Right here, right where this bass drop. Boom. Let's do this. I'm going to zoom in real good. And this is, you know, it's a demo. Let's just take it out. All right, we're mixing out anyway, right? All right, so we're in here. We're in the next song. Okay, so now let's do this. I'm going to figure out what you're going to right click and add original tempo. So this is where this song's supposed to be. Now, by doing that, from here to here, it's going to steadily speed up from 105 to 108 all the way across. And you might not want that, because what I've found is, even though it's really cool and subtle, it throws off the blend that you just design with your ears. So don't do that. This is where I mixed out. I'm going to put a marker here. I'm going to say add tempo. See, this is why it says 106. It automatically started to bridge the gap between here and here. I'm going to actually say, nope. I'm going to put you back at 104.97. All right. Now, the blend that I did is going to stay the same. It sounds the same. Now, it would have stretched both of these songs out, and it might have sounded okay. I didn't scan it just now. I just know from experience that it's better to control this. Now, from here, I'm mixed out. So now, if I wanted to, I can just let it slowly go from here to here. It might sound okay. That's actually subtle enough to where I can let that roll. You see this? Now, there's times where what I'll do instead is I'll let it go like a bar, and then I'll manually, I'll be like, let's see, this is, where are we at right now? We're like 104.97. I'll go like 104.97, edit 104.97, and I'll get zoomed in real good at this, right as this next bar is going to start, and add a tempo marker and be like 105.97, and I'll just purposefully walk it all the way up to where it's supposed to, back to the original BPM. That's just, it depends on your style. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, and I'm actually just going to stick with the long transition from where I mixed out to where, whatever, because it sounded okay actually. If you all right. So this is pretty much how you mix. You have two options. You can oh, let me show you one more thing. So I do this a lot. I'll get a song mixed in and I'll realize let me use this as an example. I'm going to solo it. Oh, where'd you go? I need rest. All right. Yeah, looking for, that's not going to work. I'm looking for a great example of, let's see here. Oh, I'm soloed, that's why. Ooh, this might work. Fingers. Let's say that this isn't, I'm not going to mix in because I think you get the point. But I'm going to show you something else pretty cool. Let's say that I'm going to go back to the beginning. All right. I believe the Won't You Rub it ended, or it starts there, and it starts there. And let's say that I wanted to just get rid of this one little loop, section. I do this a lot when you have a long intro and it's getting boring and you want to get to the, get to the drop or whatever. So I've pretty much eyed it up to where it is. It's finicky. As soon as I click anywhere, I would lose this region that I've highlighted. So it's you really got to be careful, when you select the region, I just did. But I'm zooming in and using the left click and then dragging. But now that I think I have it where I want it, I'm just gonna hit the delete button. All right, now here, let me listen. All that wasn't bad. And so that comes in really handy. It only sounds, yeah, it only sounds wonky there because that's the way the song is chopped up. If I go Control Z and put it back in, see that chop right there is already there. So I'm gonna go edit, redo. I just bumped it up. Anyway, you know, it's that's pretty useful and seamless. And just don't be afraid to zoom in real good with the mouse. All right, so I'm not going to do any mixes anymore because, like, you get the point. I can't stress enough this going to -10. Let's do effects real quick. Here's how you get to effects right here. And the short story about effects is they suck. The only effect that's like I've found in this whole section of default is this thing called I think it's air dynamics. It's basically the default like loop out. It's okay, but it's so finicky. And so like here's how you do this. If you drag it to the song, you'll put the effect on the whole song, which you don't want. So I'm going to get rid of that by right-clicking here and hitting delete. What you want to do is you want to highlight a region where I need it to end abruptly. So I'm going to pick this song. Let's end on this. We'll end here. All right, so end on that Lin drum. All right, let's say my echo out is going to be like that long. So I'm going to drag it to there. Now watch. Kind of hear that trailing off, but the thing is that the rest of this music is going to screw up the trail off. So you actually have to go in and be like, make a volume thing and make another one like say here. No, not there, like here. And then like abruptly cut it and then experiment. It's like straight trial and error. It's going to like loop or whatever. It's gonna echo for as long as you set this region, but you gotta play with how it's gonna sound. See, it kind of clapped. And then you can sync it to the next song. And like, you know, if the next song mixes in right there, which I don't even know if it would. Maybe it would. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's not a, let's try another example with more going on. Yeah. I'll just, you know what I'll do is I'll just make this loop. I'm not going to try to make it sound pretty. There's a lot going on here. So listen. Now, did it work? Now it's doing that echo. This is another glitch. It echoes when I hit the space bar. Sometimes you can get that sounding really good, but there's no way to automate it. It's super annoying. So let's say, okay, this downbeat here, I'm actually going to mix out on. I actually got to like experiment. It takes forever, but let's see. You know, and then this is now you play with like, how long is it going to mix out for? Like, how long is it going to trail? You know what I mean? Am I going to sync it to the next song and have it, you know? And again, with Snap turned on, you wouldn't be able to like see how I'm really boxed into where like these are the only options. So it'll drive you crazy. And there's no obvious tutorial about this. Turn Snap off, leave it off. Now it's like, where was I at here? So maybe like, I don't know, maybe here. And so what I got to do now is I just got to experiment and listen and be like, sometimes it's as you see it, and sometimes it's as you hear it. Like, you just got to play. I mean, that wasn't terrible. Sometimes, I mean, actually, that's not terrible. I didn't count how many echoes that is, but I think it was 2. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Got lucky on that one. All right. So, I mean, there it is. This is literally, the rest of these things suck. I have actually, this is a nice tempo delay that Voxengo makes. It's free. I just started playing with it, but I'll show you real quick a good result that I got. And I'm just going to play a little bit of it. So it's here. These are a lot of settings. They're really hard to adjust within this program. It looks great. The Voxengo stuff looks great in Reaper, but MixMeister forces you to like deal with it with these stupid knobs. Anyway, but this is a nice echo out, and it's free. And I'll play a little example. You accuse me of it. You accuse me of it. You accuse, let me testify. You accuse me. You know, whatever. It's not for everybody, but I was just kind of experimenting with like what type of echo out could I get that's not the default, and that's what I came up with. I can't think of anything else to say other than how to deal with this -10 now that you've got it turned down so low. Like, here's my answer. First of all, let me back up. Back when I was at -4 and -5, what I found is songs that were mixing, where I was blending, I would still have to be so aware of like the volume, and I would have to like manually lower the volume as I'm riding out, and it just was so tedious. And it was just, I realized it wasn't because I was trying to avoid it. Like, it didn't sound bad, it just clipped, and it only sounded bad because it was clipping. It didn't sound bad because it was like too loud. It was just clipping like crazy. So that's, once you go to -10, you don't actually have to tweak the volumes of your outgoing and incoming songs a whole lot, other than just what I did here. And so what you do is, here. Like, here's a good example. This was a transition right here. Let me see if I can play some of it. Bake cakes. So I have it set up. When I exported this from MixMeister, I had it at -10, and then this is my setting for in Voxengo Elephant. I have the outgain at -1.5, so nothing's ever clipping. And the in gain at 11, and that just means like anytime it gets to 11, it's gonna push it back. And so if you listen, the volume's not really gonna. Let me turn off clipping. Not clipping, but snap to beat. Let me turn off snap to beat. All right, so here we go. Son is bound to take cakes. All right, now without the limiter on, that actually ramped up and got pretty loud, but it sounds smooth with the limiter on. So that's my little secret way of dealing with, like, okay, it's really low, I have no clipping going on in here, but I have a real cheap, easy way to get it back up to like a nice volume. And while I'm at it, I let Voxengo Elephant limit the transitions, because as you bring up the volume of the whole mix, the transitions are going to get loud as well. So it's like, Anyway, that's just, I can't say enough about this limiter. Voxengo Elephant. It's awesome. All right, so final thing. I've done everyone, let's see, since here. So from this, Respect the Edit 4, 5, 6, Anthems Weigh a Ton, old raps. This is just straight rap right here. This. These have all been done with MixMeister. And you might, if you listen really closely, hear my little progression of like, I only figured out to export at -10, I think like here. The first one I did, which I believe was this one, is every transition is clipping like crazy because I didn't even know what I was doing. And you won't either, but you're going to be way ahead of me because of this video. So anyway, yeah. Oh, and one other thing. What? This is Hear This At. They're in Mixcloud as well. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm in the profile. Okay. I had reposted that. Yeah. So they're in, and I reposted a couple of these. But yeah, they're here as well, which obviously the links will be in the description. I guess if you come with any, the only other thing that I would say that I am not going to cover because it's so confusing is if you have two songs that you're trying to mix a nice long blend with and you just can't quite get it nailed down, like for whatever reason, like they start right on beat. It's not an issue with the BPM. It's just they drift off. You can actually get in and set, I'm gonna stay here, come down here, and I'm gonna click this here, and you can actually get in and like, I guess it's like you right click and say add measure start marker, and then you would go to the song below and click in right at the part of the beat because it might be here by, you know, like the beat grid's off, and that's how you would kind of like reset the beat grid. And it's such a trial and error. Like I've had it work and really lock in, and I've had it go left on me and sound like ass. And so I can't possibly give a good tutorial about how to do the beat grid. You know, maybe somebody can take it from there. But yeah, this program's actually pretty sweet, especially if you don't have time to, you know, hit record and actually record a mix anymore because of life. But you still want to have some nice mixtapes to listen to and to share and whatnot. All right, I guess I'm going to wrap it up here. Peace.